there's been the GST advantage for battery imports. Yeah, so this has been created. So you can get this technology easier in the country. There are some subventions for building some battery factories that's coming in the country. I think there are some ideas and some initiatives, but it's always kind of mixed pickles. Yeah, so if you want a major push, yeah, in this direction, this must be a complete plan with all 360 looking at it. Yeah, so we could easily come with electrification if, for instance, all the import duties would fall apart for electrified cars coming in the country. Easy. If you want it, yeah, because we have no battery supplier here in India to supply it, so we have to import it. Yeah. So what are you doing? You say, okay, all electrified cars are import duties. Could be an easy push. Then the business model is much easier and more interesting for us. Yeah, but it's not happening because at the same time you have to protect your manufacturing base. I understand the balance they have to discuss, but that's what I mean. If you really focused on something, then you have to put it. And you see the European Union, they came with the 95 grams and a heavy penalty scheme, and the manufacturers had to change. We didn't like it, it's a lot of cost, and the business model is dramatically changing. But with this, we are forced to go into this direction, because if not, you have to pay huge penalties. Yeah, so the companies had to completely reinvent itself and come to a new say. So far that Volkswagen now says in 2050 we want to be emission-free, zero emission in our fleet. Yeah, because we saw, okay, what's going to be the trend? Mobility is going to change, environmental consciousness is going to change. We have to change. Yeah, but that requires from the Indian government a clear statement. Not only I'm going to be electrified 30% or 170% of what has been announced. What is the plan to get there? Yeah, so and then a real plan. Yeah, so I'm as a Volkswagen, I'm kind of in the waiting scenario because I have the technology. Right. We invested 40 billion euros in electrification. You know that we're going to build cars for non-millionaires. Gagan loved this sentence. Yeah, so it will be affordable. It will be at the price of a Golf diesel. So we will be in the heartland of the European customer, of the American customer, of the Indian, Chinese customer. What's gonna be? You have to put a bet, and Volkswagen is definitely going after electrification in BEVs. That's our strategy. And the strategy is to get it mass, not small, mass. Because mass. And we are, you know, that's the difference to India. If we go in mass in Europe, then the industry is going mass because we're big. Yeah. In China, the same. Yeah. In India, we are not moving the market. We have to be very clear. Yeah. So there we are much more dependent on what the environment in terms of the framework is set up. Yeah. So that's the reason why I'm so imminent about this sub-formula category. First of all, what we did is obviously we made our products more accessible. A 4.99 car is accessible, and it's in the range of all our competitors. No, so customers can have this experience. Obviously, it's still a little bit higher in price, but I think it's first of all, I think cost is not the trigger in India. It's value for money. Right. Yeah? Customers really are not going for the cheapest. Yeah? They're going for the best value. Right. Yeah? And that shows how clever the customers in India are. Yeah, they definitely. Yeah. I think, like I said before, the ticket size will grow and grew in the past constantly. So customers do have the financial power to go into purchase higher ticket sizes. Yeah. So that's the first thing. So the salary level, due to economic growth, due to education, is growing constantly, and the middle class is growing constantly in India. Yeah? So even in the budget discussion, the government surprisingly gave some support for this growing middle class. Yeah, that was really an interesting, for us, really a positive signal that they realize it's not only the agricultural sector, it's also the middle class which is getting bigger. And on top of it, we were talking about it before. different forms of mobility move also the, let's say, the availability for customers of higher ticket size cars in the future. Leasing models, residual value models, ride-hailing, all kinds of different mobility forms will move customers from having it as a property and more using mobility, like you have in the music industry today. And that will give then an EMI of, I don't know, 20, 30,000 rupees a month, is then suddenly affordable to have a per car which you never could dream of in the past. And this will come too. Yeah, so the leasing sector will grow once the used car business has been a little bit more organized, which we see at the moment. Used car business is growing dramatically in India. So you will, with this movement, also have higher ticket size cars, because simply you don't have to purchase them anymore. You can just use them. And the property is with someone else, and you just use them for 3 years and then you go for the next. All happening already in more mature markets. So you have this, you have option models where you have 3 cars as an option, an abo form, kind of a subscription. Where in the summer you drive the convertible, in the winter you have the SUV with the 4x4, and then if you have more official step, you are driving with your sedan. And it's getting more and more this direction, and this moves after ticket size.